See on the screen of why we join Rotary, 10 reasons why you join a club. You also see in comparison, there's a difference between belonging to a Rotary club and being a Rotarian. So you can see the characteristics of what a Rotarian is and what we do in the world that makes changes. The four-way test, it is more than just a saying. I know at every meeting you see us saying the four-way test, but it's actually something that we ingrain in how we interact with people in the world and with each other in our clubs. So I want to talk about how do we put it all together. We just talked about why we joined a Rotary club, why we became a Rotarian, and how we ingrained the four-way test into that. So putting it all together, we need to look at education, engagement, and execution. Rotarians are the common factor and fiber in that formula for success. We look at it at the club level, the district level, and of course, internationally. Let's talk a little bit about education. We're breaking it down. What are some opportunities for us to learn more at the club level? Well, we can attend club assemblies, join club committees, become club chairs, and mentor each other. At the district level, you can go to what they call Rotary Leadership Institute. There, you actually have a breakdown of how these systems function within the clubs. District training, there's usually 2 a year, fall and spring. That allows you to dive a little bit deeper and learn a little bit more about what it is to be a Rotarian. District committees and chairs. You can serve on a committee to find out, so for example, the four-way test. We just had that committee, I chaired that, where you are becoming more involved with your communities and how all of this works together. And of course, different district conferences. We have a theme each year, and the district conferences allow us to break down, come together, and see what our common goal truly is. So here is just some pictures that I'm going to put of how we have ingrained it in our club. So RLI, there's where you can attend the classes. There's 3 parts to the class, 1, 2, and 3 that's offered. When you sign up, you learn a little bit more and it dives deeper into it. After you finish the classes, you can become a facilitator and actually teach what you've learned. This is also something that you can take back to your club that will also strengthen them with the knowledge and have that educational piece. District training. I will tell you, for our clubs, we learned a whole lot. So we were having our club meetings, and then this is a group that decided that we were going to attend district training. And we really learned how we were a bigger part. We were only a piece of the puzzle. There was a bigger piece that was missing. And so we broke it down, and then we brought that back to the club, and that really allowed us to be a stronger club by seeing how each part of what they were training, from foundation on to having certain sponsorships, opportunities, work in the community, that allowed us to get some ideas and to kind of see as a whole what the Rotarians were working on. Engagement. So engagement, this is just more than just talking. I truly believe that together we are stronger. Stronger people build stronger clubs. Stronger clubs build a stronger district. Stronger districts build a thriving organization called Rotary. This is how we change the world. So some opportunities for engagement at the club level and also throughout the district: fundraising. So when we have fundraising, it helps us to support our club functions as well as give to the foundation, which also helps us to have grants, local and international, in community engagement, and partnership and projects. The more you learn and arm yourself with the education, the more you can have engagement, and that will propel your club to move forward. This is just some Rotarians at work and engagement that we've done in our club, sorry. So we had trash pickup, Habitat for Humanity, just to name a few, and fundraising. So we did a fundraiser, Wines Around the World, where we actually sell tickets, and that is one of our biggest fundraisers that we have had. It helped us to fund quite a bit of our local projects, such as, Darkest Ministries, The Caring Place, and different things that we do to help out. I would say the pandemic, we know, hit a lot of people hard and a lot of clubs hard. But I want to encourage you to stay the course. You have to remember your why, recommit yourself, refocus, realize you are a change agent, and that we are Rotarians. So we are built to last. Here is one of the fundraisers that we did, and you can see we're wearing masks. We did a fundraiser selling poinsettias. We were able to help a lot of organizations, even with the PPP that was hit hard. Again, I mentioned Darkest Ministries, The Caring Place, Big Brothers, Big Sisters. A lot of the organizations that were hit depend on us deeply. So by continuing the course and allowing them to continue to do what they do, as a whole helps us to continue to change the world and to have focus on what it is that Rotarians do. Execution. I want to bring this back to our members, why we do what we do. So Rotary's vision statement, which is very important. Together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities and in ourselves. So obviously we see that being a Rotarian is definitely not for the faint at heart. There's a reason why you found something inside of you that you wanted to help others. And again, we know that others depend on us. So we're seen not just in our communities, but we're also seen throughout the world as a change agent and a helper to people. We are here to serve, and service above self becomes very important in that formula. Rotary is an organization, but the people are the ones that help the work get done. And so you should be very proud of 116 years that we are continuing on this journey. And absolutely are we making a difference throughout the world. Execution, which is one of the things that, oh, I'm sorry, that one. Execution, making a difference. So we, through funding, district funding, was allowed to go to Victoria Falls Hospital and actually provide eye surgery to folks that were never able to even have that for years, were blind, for maybe something like a simple cataract. So we were able to go there through a grant and joining with the club there in Zimbabwe to actually help people see. Here we also was able to obtain vitamin A. So for something as simple as not having vitamin A has caused a deficiency where there's children and other people that are there that cannot see. We may take that for granted, but Rotary stepped in and was able to help thousands of people through a partnership. By giving through the foundation, these grants become available. That's why it's important to understand what we do, both locally and globally. This meant everything to these folks to be able to see for the first time. As you can see, we did examinations on children to kind of help them not have to go through what some of the older folks there went through in order to see, all from a district grant, changing lives. So I'll talk about a little bit about my why and how I became a Rotarian. So I was in school at North Carolina Central. I was working on my master's degree. So we had to take a trip as part of the degree, as I was getting it in master's in public administration. So I went to work at the Central Bank of Liberia because I'm a banker by trade. And I went there to talk about how I could help them, get their banking system. Just to back up a little bit in order. To back up a little bit, if you don't know about Liberia, Liberia is a war-stricken country that the bank was burnt to the ground, and so was all of its records. So these people were looking to try to get these records together. So students from North Carolina Central that was in this program worked whatever their field was here in America, went to Liberia, and actually worked in these agencies to kind of help them brainstorm and strategize on how to get their things back in order. So I went to, as I told you, the Central Bank of Liberia. But I tell you, I got a life lesson more than just an educational piece. These people were resilient in how they were able to have the records that were burned. They hand wrote what they could save, and they actually made it work. They're also, when I was there, met a group of women that you see here. These women were not just ordinary women. These women were women that were looking to do business with other women. They actually promoted other women's businesses by selling flour. So if someone could sew in the group, the woman before her would sell flour, and that money that she got from selling the flour, she would invest it in the next woman's business to show that they had the strength in everybody winning. This is one picture that stuck in my mind about when I was there, changing the world. I thought to myself, imagine a world with peace, hope, and people who care. This is before I was a Rotarian. I also thought about the resilience of the people when I was there and the children, the hope that they had in their eyes of wanting to make a difference. All they needed was help. All they needed was a hand up, not a handout, because they already had the peace that they were willing to do whatever it took to survive. Or they had already had some survival in the sense that they survived the Civil War and they wanted more for their lives and their children's lives. And so we were there to make a difference. And again, as students studying and thinking that we were coming to help, I can tell you the impact truly helped us. We came away with our own hope and determination of changing the world and making things better. So when I came back, I graduated in 2007 from that program. When I came back, I thought, let me find an organization that would match what I'd like to do, my passion, my skill. So I became a Rotarian in 2008 after joining Rotary. My journey then took off. I had a zest to wanting to change the world. I became president of my club in 2012. As Marie stated, I served on various committees within my club and chaired many organizations. I wanted to learn as much as I could to change the world because what I had seen in those folks' eyes, just being there as a student, made me know that I could do more, and I wanted to be around like people who was wanting to do more. As you can see here, and I won't read it all, that my journey has been quite remarkable in going through Rotary. Service above self, again, to me is not just a motto. It is leadership, taking a stance and saying, I will be that change agent. I will stay the course. I will do whatever it needs to be done to do my part in the world. Rotary takes up a lot of time, I will tell you, but I made it into an engagement for my legacy. Here are my children as they're grown now, but throughout my years of being a Rotarian, we've made it a family affair. So I am teaching them of what it is to be a Rotarian by having them come out. We were at the Martin Luther King sorting food for families. So every project, even Global Run for Water, I had them there. So it's important that you get folks that can support you, of course, that can have you engaged so that you don't feel guilty of tearing your time between doing good in the world when you're leaving your legacy of what it means to truly be a Rotarian. The best part, education. Educating more Rotarians, more people that have like minds like yourself to continue this journey and giving to our organizations why we do what we do. We do what we do to yield the support that's needed to keep these organizations functioning that are doing such good things for people that are less fortunate. And that is the end of my presentation. I am happy to take any questions about my journey.
Thank you, Veronica. I'm going to stop your share.
Yes.
So again, folks, you guys are not a quiet group normally. So what questions do you have for Veronica? By the way, Veronica, we've only been around for a little while, but several of our members have gone to RLI. We also have a poinsettia fundraiser, and we have participated in district grants. So we're on our way, but there's obviously much more we can do. So I put in chat, how much do you guys typically make on your poinsettia fundraiser?
This year, we've made over $2,000 on it. Usually in the years past, we've made more. So we're going to revamp that a little bit. We normally sell our plants for like $18. They're beautiful plants. We realize that people are willing to pay more. But I tell you, even with the pandemic that's happening this year, and we knew that our sales would be a little off, our president came up with asking for sponsorships for Rotary. Rotary normally is always giving out to other organizations, such as my bank that I work for. We asked them to give us money, and they did. So that was our cushion. So don't be afraid to think outside the box, and definitely ask for sponsorships. Some of these companies absolutely will. They have initiatives that are supposed to be helping people in the community. And since we are a civic organization that helps the community, then we are eligible for those grants as well.
Yeah, so the sponsorships are what saved us this year, certainly for our poinsettia sales. Do you guys have a foundation that you so that the corporations can take a tax deduction, or they just give out of the goodness of their heart, which is what they do for us?
They just gave out of the goodness of their heart. This is the first time we did that, and we were pleasantly surprised. So I'm sure we'll be rethinking that since we had such success.
Yeah, and just to share with you guys, there was a club, actually current District Governor David Hayden's club used to have this huge golf tournament every single year. This year they couldn't do the golf tournament because of COVID. They just asked for money, and they raised as much or maybe even more money just through sponsorships without the headache of doing a golf tournament. So sponsorships really are the way to go for a lot of Rotary things. All right, so.
Oh, Veronica, for me, a big part of international service is actually being able to go there and be part of the effort. How has COVID changed that, or has it changed it?
It has changed with the travel and the follow-up and whatnot, but we are still able to do some stuff. So we partnered with another group, which is something that our club is working on now. It is a project for young women where we are providing them with women products so that they're able to go to school. So we can't have feet on the ground, but there are a group of Rotarians that are on the ground. And so we are able to help fund that project by partnering with another group that will be able to be on the ground and to see this through. So there are ways around that partnership is very, very important.
So just out of curiosity, is that a district or global grant? And did you have relationships with that club beforehand?
It will be. It's something that we're working on now. We had him come as a speaker to us. We have not put in the district grant, but we will be doing that to further it. So right now it's just club funded to kind of get them started. But this is something that we are developing a strategic plan around because it's going to be needed for a long time to come. So we are going to be putting that district grant in. It's coming.
Great. And so how did you guys find the partner club? Did you have relationships from your work in Zimbabwe, or?
Yes, we are fortunate to have Keith Holston in Zimbabwe. He is actually from there. And so he knows quite a bit of people that are on the ground there. And so he partnered with another club and actually had doctors that they had worked with before. So there was not a trust issue because you always want to make sure the money is going to where it's supposed to be. So, and he actually went along with the doctors and was able to make sure that that work was carried out. So we were very fortunate to have a club member who is from there.
I thought it was, it's a small world. Several years ago, Marie and I went to Zimbabwe, which is right next door, to Zambia, which is right next door to Zimbabwe. And we took some shoes for school children, because in many countries in Africa, if you don't have shoes, you're not allowed to go to school.
Right.
And we actually carried those over ourselves, and it was an interesting experience.
It is, and that warms your heart, and that just speaks to why you continuously want to stay the course and be a Rotarian, because when you can see that the change is actually happening. Again, we would take for granted no shoes. Well,
Yeah.
no, really, no shoes, no school, no education, no better life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually very humbling. And I don't know if we've shared the story with this crowd before, but we took, I think it was 100 pairs of shoes, maybe 50. In any case,
it's
I think it was
100.
100.
Awesome.
And so these shoes are built with Velcro and various straps, so they'll last for 5 years. They've got a rubber sole, and so they grow with the kid. It's called the shoe that grows. And so we thought, 100 shoes, that was a nice effort. We get there to the club. We're invited to a noon club, and they wanted us to do the presentation to the schools. We did. Each school had something like 600 students, and we had 50 pairs of shoes per school. And they had 1 or perhaps 2 restrooms for the entire school. It really brought home how very privileged we all are to live in this country, and how life is so challenging for people in the developing world. I mean, can you imagine being in a school with only 1 toilet, and then you're a young girl and you don't have the hygiene products you need to be safe, so you miss a week of school every month? I mean, it's really astonishing. So international service, although that's not where this club is focused and it's not where we are starting, really enriches your Rotary experience.
I gotta add, because I don't want people to get the wrong impression about schools in Africa, or certainly in Zambia. We visited on another trip in elementary school in Zambia, and the level of education was unbelievable. They were so proud. They had their first graduate attend university in Britain. These kids came from a wooden hut village. I mean, the huts were built of twigs with mud roofs, but they got an education. It was absolutely amazing.
Absolutely. And see, that's just exactly how I felt when I went to Liberia. I mean, it really changed my stance, my thinking. I mean, it really makes you want to be able to do this work and to do it well, because you have so many people that are counting on you, and you truly are changing lives.
Yep. I didn't mean to quieten everyone down.
I was going to say, it looked like Jeff had a question, either that or he was dealing with other things there. I guess it's dealing with other things. I will say that there are some people in this club, Carolyn being one, that really care a lot about international service. And although we can't do it now, there are some things that are routinely available. So once the COVID pandemic is under control and we can travel again, we almost always have a trip every year to the Dominican Republic that's organized within the district. There's another club, South Granville, that routinely goes to Nicaragua to do some really tough hands-on work, building schools and doing lighting. And they go every other year typically. And as Rotary Club of Chapel Hill, East Chapel Hill actually, goes to on a dental project most every year. So if you are interested in international service, reach out to your district governor, because you may or may not know, and find out what's cooking, and perhaps you can join the effort.
Exactly. Jessica, did you have a question or a comment?
Thank you. I was just going to say, so I didn't have a question, but I just wanted to say thank you for sharing your story and especially sharing your experience. That was powerful to hear how and why you wanted to get involved in Rotary, and then also that you didn't just get involved as a member, but just said, how can I give back even to Rotary itself and get into leadership? And so thank you for sharing your experience with us.
Thank you.
I just want to throw in, you all know I'm a COVID geek. I've been following the COVID pandemic for over a year. There's an international consortium of countries and corporations called COVAX, C-O-V-A-X, that has pledged to deliver vaccines to underdeveloped countries. And they've just made the first delivery to a country in Africa. So the vaccine is beginning to be distributed truly globally, or vaccines. I mean, there's a dozen of them now. And you know, hopefully this is going to make a difference in the pandemic. Israel, which is now vaccinated over 60% of their country, of their population, are seeing a major drop in COVID cases. The vaccine is working. So as we spread this, international travel, international service should become a reality again.
And I heard Marie say that you guys are a young club, but even though you're a young club, you're mighty in numbers. So whatever you can do and think about your why and just kind of do some self-evaluation of why you became a Rotarian. Search and then just continue to do the work. Don't give up, even though things are difficult and things may, you know, get in the way, but just always refocus yourself into why are you doing the work? You know, you're helping a lot of people. We are definitely, we're changing the world. We really are, one person at a time, one project at a time. So I want to just encourage you to keep on your course. You're doing a great job. Stay as a club, grow as a club, learn as a club. You know, if you fail at something, then make sure that you just stand up and try it again. Don't give up. Just continue to keep moving forward and great things will happen.
Yeah, we're going to rebrand ourselves next year as the Fun Club, so stay tuned.
I like that. We do cut up in the Morrisville Club. And by the way, you're welcome to come anytime. You will find us cutting up and having fun.
Are you guys still meeting at noon or around noon? I don't remember exactly.
Yes, we're at noon and we're virtual. And I'm telling you, it's an experience. We still joke around and carry on. We used to meet at Prestonwood Country Club. But you will find us, even though we're at Prestonwood Country Club, I promise you, we plant trees, we pick up trash. That just is not, we are truly Rotarians. So you will definitely find us working. You'll definitely find us being a cohesive team. We've had a lot of new members. So we're in the phase where we're training. We're kind of getting the folks to know really the mentorship. I will tell you, with David and Marie, you have a wealth of knowledge right here. You know, just a shout out to them. So I would definitely utilize that talent that you have in mentorships. So you could be a president. Just put yourself out there. If you're passionate, you can't fail. It's a good cause. You have to try.
So we have some really solid leadership, including Jessica, who just became our mayor. And so yeah, we've definitely got some good folks. We just need to find more good folks as we go along. So I'm going to share my screen now here, Veronica. One of the things that we can't welcome you in person, but we can give you a thank you and a certificate for presenting to us. So we thank you very much for doing that. And yeah, again, thanks much.
It's been my absolute pleasure. Please reach out to me if you just want some one-on-one to kind of talk things through. I'm looking for